morning. Thank God it's Friday. Yes, indeed, it is wonderful to be with you on the Friday edition of the press this morning. Yes, what better place to be than here, knowing full well that I have you right there waiting for the show to start. My name is Anire Binitie. Today promises to be interesting. I say welcome once again. I'm expecting two guests to, join me on set this morning to discuss issues from the front pages of our papers. We have one particular one that has run through. One issue that is in our heart as Nigerians. Again, today on the show, we shall be taking a look at that very one important unfolding situation right here in the country. And I do hope that you'll be there to join us when the time comes, once the phone lines are open, to call in and be part of the conversation. So let us begin the way we do it without wasting much time, as we go straight on now to the weather report for the morning. Now, if you're watching for the first time after the weather report, we do go straight on to the front pages of the papers. We'll take a break, come back, to introduce our guests. Then somewhere in the middle of the discussion, again, a break. And of course, when we return, the phone lines are right there on your screen. Now, you can only call when you see the phone numbers displayed on your screen. Anytime before or in between, we won't be able to take your call. It's not that we're ignoring you, it's just that there's a time for everything on the show. All right, let us start now. I don't have much of the weather report today, but the little that I have with you, I'm going to share. But this morning, we're starting with Enugu. I have the weather report for Enugu this morning. Partly cloudy conditions expected around 3 p.m. in Enugu today. Wind gusts are up to 6 miles per hour. Meanwhile, in Enugu, right about now, it is 78 degrees Celsius. By 10 a.m. is expected to rise to 80 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 83 degrees Celsius. By 12 p.m., 85 degrees Celsius. By 1 p.m., it's expected to rise to 86 degrees Celsius. And by 2 p.m., it will rise to 87 degrees Celsius. And I expect this is the trend. It will take all through the day as it keeps rising till the evening. Highs at 87 degrees Celsius and lows at 74 degrees Celsius. As you can see, Enugu started at 75 degrees Celsius right from the early morning. Moving away from Enugu, let us take a look at Owerri. Owerri this morning also started at 75 degrees Celsius. Cloudy conditions will continue all day with highs at 86 degrees Celsius and lows at 74 degrees Celsius. Wind gusts are up to 6 miles per hour. In Enugu right now, about 9 a.m., just a few minutes past 9 a.m., it is 78 degrees Celsius in Enugu, in Owerri, I beg your pardon. By 10 a.m. is expected to rise to 80 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 83 degrees Celsius. And by 12 p.m., 84 degrees Celsius. That is the weather forecast for Owerri today. Remember, Owerri started at 75 degrees Celsius right from the morning. So if you're in Owerri right now, you already have your weather forecast for part of today, so you know exactly what to do. All right, let us move on. I did tell you we don't have much this morning on our weather report, so let us take a look at Abuja, what the weather is saying for Abuja. Abuja, partly cloudy conditions expected around 4 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 5 miles per hour. Abuja started at 76 degrees Celsius. By 8 a.m., it was 76 degrees Celsius, maintaining same. But right now in Abuja, it is 79 degrees Celsius. By 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 82 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 85 degrees Celsius. And by 12 p.m., 87 degrees Celsius. I did say that partly cloudy conditions are expected around 4 p.m. Highs at 91 degrees Celsius and lows at 73 degrees Celsius for Abuja. Away from Abuja, we have Jos. We have Jos this morning. Jos. Let us take a look at Jos this morning. Partly cloudy conditions expected around 12 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 11 miles per hour. Right now in Jos, it is 74 degrees Celsius. By 10 a.m. is expected to rise to 77 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 80 degrees Celsius. And by 12 p.m., 82 degrees Celsius. Highs at 84 degrees Celsius and lows at 66 degrees Celsius. Away from Jos, let us take a look at Kano. Kano is up next on our weather report this morning. Partly cloudy conditions expected around 1800 hour. Wind gusts are up to 9 miles per hour. It is 77 degrees Celsius in Kano right now. By 10 a.m. is expected to rise to 83 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 87 degrees Celsius. By 12 p.m., 89 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy conditions expected around 1800 hours, like I told you. However, highs at 93 degrees Celsius and lows at 65 degrees Celsius. Away from Kano, let us take a look at Kaduna, which happens to be our final weather update this morning. Kaduna is up next. Mostly cloudy conditions are expected. However, partly cloudy conditions are expected around 1800 hour. Wind gusts are up to 12 miles per hour. It is 78 degrees Celsius right now in Kaduna. By 10 a.m. is expected to rise to 83 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 86 degrees Celsius, and by 12 p.m., 88 degrees Celsius. Highs at 91 degrees Celsius and lows at 66 degrees Celsius. That is our weather report this morning. So let us move on now to the front pages of the papers. And this morning, we'll start with the Punch. The Punch newspaper this morning says Trump threats Tinubu rallies foreign allies as North rejects Sharia ban. Federal government vows to crush terror networks. NEF, ACF reject U.S. move to outlaw Sharia. We have more of that read on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Yes, if you follow the trends, you will actually know that when I talked about the trending story, this is exactly what I was talking about. The United States threats of coming down here to help Nigeria solve as terrorism or insecurity problems is still on the lips of every Nigerian, not just here, but of course the international community. This is the trending story. It's a global attention for Nigeria right now, and there's a lot going on, not just in the hearts of Nigerians, but also on the lips of Nigerians as we discuss the issue. Everywhere you go in town, this is the only matter that's been discussed. If you really want detailed analysis, try and get to the markets, then you'll be shocked. The people who sit around and discuss this particular issue. Again, this morning we shall be taking a look at this unfolding situation as we talk more when my guests join us. Now, above the mast, FEC OK's biometric flight boarding, PH Airport connection. I suppose that is Port Harcourt Airport concession, I beg your pardon. FEC OK's biometric flight boarding, Port Harcourt Airport concession. Federal government rolls out new plans to tackle food shortage. That is a very interesting one that I'm very particular about. Well, it would be nice for us to see the new plan that the federal government has to tackle food shortage. Not just shortage, but of course prices in the market. Nigerians have called for price control. We haven't seen that yet, if you ask me. We expect to see people in uniforms in our markets, in the supermarkets, food outlets, where people go to get food for the teeming masses. We expect to see people in uniform with a book and a pen, controlling and ensuring that prices, put under control, because the situation we get when we go to the markets, the price you get at 8 a.m. in the morning is usually not the price at which you buy at 12 p.m. Sometimes just a few minutes apart, the prices change. Again, I've discovered the prices change from one side of the market to the next. So what I do, as a shop girl, is I go around the market to compare prices, and I just sit down, look for a very quiet corner where the prices are cheaper and different for the same commodity, and I do my purchase there. I think you should do the same, because unless the federal government goes beyond words to action and actually tackle price increase or increment, indiscriminate price increment, then we'll keep having problems, especially for the poor amongst us. I really don't know how they survive. These days it's difficult for you to even differentiate the poor from the rich, because the lines are so blurred or blurry, when it comes to what you have in your pocket. Let's move on. Abuja Disco sacks 800 workers amid power crisis. The question is that a solution? Why would they wait for workers to be sacked? Why wait for that very alarming decision instead of tackling the issues before we get to the point where workers are sacked? These are people who have families to feed and cater for in this economy. This is not a very, very palatable news, or this is not welcoming, if you ask me, where you have to sack 800. We don't know if more people will be sacked. Again, on the long run, the family is the one affected by decisions like this. All right, let us move on. Vehicle imports slide 10% on weak consumer spending. Practitioner gets 50 million naira bail for alleged drug offense. That's a lot. Newly inaugurated Tinubu campaign office demolished in Benue. Ooh, that's on page 14 of the Punch. All right, let's move on. We have more papers. Let us take a look at the Vanguard. The Vanguard this morning: alleged Christian genocide. U.S. Congress targets Miyetti Allah for visa bans, asset freezes. Nigeria not in panic mode, says the federal government. Says it has opened discussions with U.S. We are going to defeat terrorism. Tinubu. U.S. military draws up strike plans against Nigeria. Outlines heavy, medium, light attacks. Now this is getting, whoa, it's getting realer in court by the day. Every day the papers come out, there's something different, something new. The outline of the United States plan. The reality of the situation on ground gets closer, it gets real. You begin to get absorbed into it, that the United States is not joking. The question is, what is the Nigerian government doing? Well, we've seen reactions, we've seen comments from the president, we've heard a situation where meetings have been held with the United States government officials, ambassadors, as it were, agencies. The question is, does it appear that enough is being done from the Nigerian side, so we do not actually see the United States come into our nation? It is not something that I look forward to. But ironically, I don't know if it's true because I haven't seen the video. There's a statement credited to Wike saying that he welcomes, the Wike saying that it would be nice if the United States can come in and help us handle us insecurity or security issues. I haven't seen the video. It was an interview on Channels TV, but a lot of Nigerians do not agree with that. Of course, the reaction has been divergent, with some people for and others against. At the end of the day, what we pray for is a quick resolution of situation on ground. All right, away from that, PDP crisis, Damagum tightens grip as state chairman disown rival leadership. Above the mast, anxiety as Solido, 2 women, 13 others test might tomorrow. That's on the Anambra election. Anxiety as Solido, 2 women, 13 others test might tomorrow. Umba Fubara Biodun worry over deplorable state of police training college. Economy records strong growth, says Edun. And electricity operator pushes for gradual transition to cost-reflective tariffs. False declaration of assets tackle backlog of cases, CJN Charles Tribunal. FEC approves 43 billion naira for Lagos-Ibadan Highway, East-West Road, others. All right, let us move on now to This Day newspaper. This Day this morning says Nigeria's $2.35 billion Eurobond oversubscribed by $10.65 billion. Strong investor confidence excites Tinubu. Wale Edun, this successful market access demonstrates the international community's continued confidence in reform. Above that story, as Trump military threats looms, federal government claim of Christian genocide based on faulty data. Let me take that again. As Trump military threat looms, federal government claim of Christian genocide based on faulty data. Above the mast, man declares support for 15% import tariff on petrol diesel. Says is a step towards strengthening local content, patronage of Made in Nigeria. All right, let us move on. The next paper is The Nation. The Nation this morning. Tinubu, we will defeat terrorism, secure every part of the country. Nigeria engaging constructively, diplomatically to address all genuine concerns. Do we have problems? Yes. Are we challenged by terrorism? Yes. But we will defeat terrorism. We will overcome the CPC designation. We shall spare no effort until we eliminate all criminals. We want all our friends to help us. That is Tinubu speaking. Tariffs, import restrictions, others for review. FEC rolls out approvals. 41 billion for Lagos-Ibadan Road Phase 2. Maitama 2 District, judges' residences. 396 million loans for Northern IDPs. Sokoto Health Project. Concession of Port Harcourt International Airport. Presidential Task Force to drive Dirty December. Okay, Makinde approves 88 billion naira road projects. Nigeria targets 32% emission cut by 2035. All right, let us move on to the Daily Trust newspaper. The Daily Trust newspaper this morning. U.S. threat, Tinubu response to Trump. Above that story, 3 teachers attend to 207 pupils in FCT school. Ooh, that is wonderful. What can I say? All right, let us move on. 15% tariff. Petrol may cost 1,028 naira per litre. Diesel 1,194 naira. FEC okays $396 million credit for IDPs, a Sokoto Health Project. Below the pictorial, despite peace deal, bandits killed 2 Katsina community leaders. Chief Imam killed over alleged witchcraft in Kwara. Cameroon's Paul Biya sworn in for 8th term. Lagos gets new federal varsity amidst 7-year ban. Okay, The Guardian is up next. Let's take a look at The Guardian. The Guardian this morning says, old battles linger amid new threats, fight for survival, truth. Old battles linger amid new threats, a fight for survival, truth. Nigeria losing legitimacy over widespread killings, a lack of accountability. 68% of electricity consumers bypassing prepaid meters, says federal government. Tinubu vows to defeat terrorism as U.S. plans military operations. Anxiety, tight security as Anambra elect new governor tomorrow. Report ranks Nigerian state health emergency preparedness below 30%. That's on health. Senate orders NAFDAC to outlaw sachet alcoholic beverages by December 31st. Now, let me say this. We've heard this over and over. The ban on sachet alcoholic drinks as way back 4 years ago. It's been back and forth with a ban with NAFDAC. Today it's being banned. Tomorrow, no, it's not. We do hope that this will take effect, you know, because of the kidney and health situations that we have in the nation. It is alarming. I do hope that the federal government, as usual, will go beyond words to ensure that finally NAFDAC is allowed to carry out this decision for the well-being of Nigerians. All right, let us move. Do we have more? Okay, federal government bars sale of fan assets, approves airport concession biometric upgrades. The Magome tightens grip as PDP state chairman disown rival leadership. Yoruba Ronu urges Tinubu to address Nigerians on genocide U.S. threats. Okay, let's move on now to the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune this morning, Tinubu vows a defeat of terrorism as U.S. military draft action plans. There are 4 riders present challenges a passing phase, President says. Present challenges a passing phase, President says. We have opened diplomatic channels with U.S. federal government. U.S. Congress seeks sanctions on groups, individuals over religious violence. Trump stands a wake-up call, Dixon. More read on page 2 and 3. 2027, APC plots control of Northeast. Taraba governor made effect on November 19th. Economy rebounding, inflation easing, says finance minister. FEC approves 396 million loans for IDPs. Anambra poll, Amopitan faces first test tomorrow. Yes, indeed. All fingers and toes crossed for as we await the Anambra, elections, and of course, Amopitan will be right there. A lot of people with their torchlights, candles, name it. We shall be waiting to see his first job as the new man in INEC. All right, more on the Nigerian Tribune. PDP crisis, state party chairman back the Magome's NWC. PDP crisis, state party chairman back the Magome's NWC. Oyo approves reconstruction of Ido Akufo Ewa Igboho Kishi roads. All right, let's move on. I think we have more papers. Okay, we've taken the Daily Trust, the Nation, the Vanguard. Okay, let's take a look at the Daily Times newspaper. The Daily Times newspaper has a headline same as those running in other papers. Will defeat terrorism, overcome CPC designation, Tinubu assures. More on the front page. Guard your independence, CJN charges Code of Conduct Tribunal. Reps launch probe into security intervention funds, vow transparency. Delta police neutralize kidnappers, recover arms, 4.1 million naira ransom in major crackdown. Tinubu swears in 2 new ministers, Ude Doro. Equity investors lose 348 billion naira as NGX index falls 0.36%. All right, let's move on now. I have the New Telegraph. The New Telegraph is up next. We're engaging world diplomatically will defeat terrorism, says Tinubu. Anambra Guba, voter apathy will be our greatest challenge, says INEC. Above the mass, telecoms, Nigerians spent 2.5 trillion naira on data in 9 months. Amazing. I'm part of that statistics, just for data, 3,000 naira just yesterday. It goes like that, you know. So I think this is true, 2.5 trillion naira, because like someone told me, the data we buy this day just like Banga. You put it in, you strike it in, and poof, it's gone. It's really, really alarming. All right, let us move on now to the Daily Sun. We have the Daily Sun this morning. The Daily Sun is saying, Tinubu to Trump, we will defeat terrorism. Market panic deepens as stocks lose 2.5 trillion naira in 4 days. So similar to that of the data analysis that was given to us. Tinubu to Trump, like I say, says government determined to build prosperous, inclusive, and resilient Nigeria. Just beside the mass PDP convention, Makinde Damagum, Rally State Chairman. Don't forget, karma is real, Chairman tells Anyang others. All right, do we still have papers? I've seen the Daily Trust. Okay, the Daily Trust this morning says U.S. threats, Tinubu response to Trump. Okay, we've taken the Daily Trust already. All right, that is our front pages this morning. Hopefully my guests are here so we can start our discussion today. Now, like, I want you to do it the way we do it. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. Once the phone lines are open, please do call in and be part of the conversation. We'll take a break now to come back with our guests. Stay with us.
Hello, I'm Abhulimen. Former National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists, AUJ. One-time President, Federation of African Journalists, FAJ. A former Executive Council member, International Federation of Journalists, IFJ. Member, International Press Institute, IPI. A former Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Ogun State. With over 4 decades practice as a journalist, and still counting, firing on all cylinders at KAFTAN Television, where I invite you to not only watch and enjoy, but imagine our beautiful world. Keep watching.
In Abuja. The main agenda here is the promotion of made in Nigeria products. Could this trigger the much needed change in the telecom industry for better service delivery? Well, as they say, only time will tell. Welcome to Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, the arrival point. A golden opportunity for the country to showcase its potentials among community of nations. Now, here comes the body, accompanied by her husband from India, where she has been receiving treatment. Total liberalization of the communication sector will bounce back in view of the sentimental attachment to it by Nigerians. The need for the players of the industry to still put their acts together to consolidate on the previous efforts has therefore become imperative. That popular saying that necessity is the mother of invention is beginning to have effect on Nigeria for good. Reporting from Dubai. Hello, I am Ruben Okala. I have not retired. I am refiring at KAFTAN TV. And as you see on KAFTAN TV, get back to work. Welcome to Abba in Abuja. The main agenda here is the promotion of made in Nigeria products. Could this trigger the much needed change in the telecom industry for better service delivery? Well, as they say, only time will tell. Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, the arrival point. A golden opportunity for the country to showcase its potentials among community of nations. Now, here comes the body, accompanied by her husband from India, where she has been receiving treatment. Total liberalization of the communication sector will bounce back in view of the sentimental attachment to it by Nigerians. The need for the players of the industry to still put their acts together to consolidate on the previous efforts has therefore become imperative. That popular saying that necessity is the mother of invention is beginning to have effect on Nigeria for good. Reporting from Dubai. Hello, I am Ruben Okala. I have not retired. I am refiring at KAFTAN TV. And as you see on KAFTAN TV,
get back to work.
In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching you live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning. The Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecasts, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on StarTimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTAN TV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is a reason why I will not do it. I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTAN TV.
A very tricky one, and then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN_TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world. In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching you live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning. The Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecast.
Yes, welcome back. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for staying with us as we start our discussion right here this morning. My guests are seated. I'm very happy to let you know that they are here as we take a look at the topic, U.S. threat. Tinubu vows to defeat terrorism. Analysis of newspaper front pages. First, let us start with the analysis. Now, amidst the continued warning by the United States to undertake a swift bombardment of terrorist enclaves in the country, President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to defeating terrorism and strengthening diplomatic ties with Nigeria's global partners. His remarks come days after U.S. President Donald Trump designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, a move the federal government has described as a misrepresentation of the nation's security situation. The president also assured Nigerians that the country remains united and resolute in its pursuit of peace and prosperity. Meanwhile, according to a report, U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, has submitted several options to the Department of War, responding to a request for operational plans in line with a Trump directive. As military officials say that the proposals labeled heavy, medium, and light outline different levels of potential engagement in Nigeria. All right, this is our focus this morning. If you just joined us, and now let me do the introduction. I have in the house this morning Hassan Sardauna, is a political and public affairs analyst. It's so nice to have you this morning.
Thank you, Anire, for having me.
It's been a long while. Where have you been?
I've been around.
Did you travel?
Not at all. I'm a full hometown boy.
so nice to have you this morning.
Thank you for having me too.
Yes.
Yes.
Then I have another guest. He is a barrister, Paul Abhulimen, is a legal practitioner and social affairs analyst. Barrister, it's so nice to have you on the show this morning.
Yes.
I know how busy you are. I remember the conversation to ensure that you get here. I just want to say that I appreciate the fact that you could make it.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. And good morning, Nigerians.
Yes, indeed. So the issues that we have as Nigerians is the pressing one that we have. We just can't stop talking about it. Is this unwelcome, unexpected, anticipated, what can I say, U.S. threat and visits to Nigeria. It is on and on. You go to the marketplace, you'll be shocked. The group of people discussing this unfolding situation is on the lips of everyone. Even the deaf are talking about this situation in the country. We want to take a look at statements made by the president, in reaction to the threats, continued threats from the United States. Most shocking is the fact that it's becoming clearer, it's getting closer, as it were, with the U.S. military sending the proposal labeled heavy, medium, and light. When you read things like this, the reality of what's on ground hits you not just on the face, but below the belt. It is a reality that we've come to face right now. But the question I want to start with is, amidst the worsening insecurity, do you agree with President Donald Trump's designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern? That is where we want to start, because the reactions of Nigerians, both home and abroad, is different. We have those that are for, we have those that are against. There are a lot of people that have said, no, the United States has been high-handed in taking such a decision. A lot of people have, they view this unfolding with a political eye. Some say, oh, how come it's only oil producing countries that the United States somehow seem to be focused on? A lot of people have said, oh, it's the oil that the United States is concerned about. It goes on and on. Again, do you think the United States saying that designating Nigeria as a country of concern, if they are right in their analysis? Hassan, you're first on the discussion.
Okay, Anire, good morning once again. What I know of is America or United States, the most powerful country, the global power, based on his or their decision any day, any time. And I want to assure you that here in Nigeria, it is not now that they're supposed to put us among the country of concern. But the most important things is, why is this thing happening now? These are the sins of President Tinubu to most of the Western countries. First, he has a knowledge of who is Americans, what America stands for. And the most unfortunate part of it, amongst us, as you just stated, some are for and some against. But we that are against it, we are not tripling. We are 10 times of those who are talking, or 100 times of them, those who are saying yes. Because we are a country of sovereignty. We need respect and need to be considered. Secondly, in terms of doing things like this, you need to invite and discuss these things in an open table, whereby we have a president, we have ambassadors, we have foreign affairs ministers, diplomatic citizens that can be discussed with, either under United Nations, or if they want to invite or have a place to discuss, they know how to discuss it, and they can make an investigation. But one of the failures of our leadership, that is, they are not communicating. They don't sensitize. Their contribution towards bringing this mess or bringing this insecurity down is not being told, is not being seen. People are daft of it. And mind you very well, in Nigeria today, it's very few number. Out of 10 people, you find about 10 to 8 out of the 10 cannot listen to news, neither read newspapers, nothing. All they are after is to hear what the government have done wrong to start criticizing. They believe they stood by. And this thing happened not yesterday. It has been almost 50 years back when Nigerians started losing confidence from their leadership or their leaders. On that reason, we have seen a lot of things. Let me take you back. Just recently, when Mr. President removed the subsidy, this is his sin number one for the Americans. Because those cabals that have been taking and siphoning our money from the so-called subsidy, I'm telling you, the international conspiracy is there. They are benefiting more than any other person. Then secondly, the turning around to make maybe France a best friend for President Ahmed Tinubu has offended the Americans. And mind you very well, France is the first country that came out and criticized America and what Israel is doing to Palestine at Gaza. And they said they were going to declare war against them at the later day. And he canvassed. They went around to Europe to canvass for the support of state of Palestine in the United Nations, which many have seen that last September, if you are following. Then this thing that you are seeing as if you think it is a single person property, that is Dangote refinery, it's a very threat for an African country to have a citizen that can able to invest over $20 billion for the for oil and gas industry. That is a refinery that we're going to treat not less than 650,000 barrels per day. I am telling you that is another thing for the this government. Just recently, if you could remember, he has put 15% tax to those who are going to import oil from foreign countries. That is the federal government. And it is another thing. If you don't know, for him to register our presence in the BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africans, this group. And now the group is yearning another major acceptance in the global world. It's another United Nations that we are these BRICS are trying to create, or a threat to American, being them the superpower. Then another thing is this: when you are seeing a lot of trucks and whatever in the in the continent of Africa going around for the advantage of the Western world, today Nigeria from Dangote side is taking this advantage. And for that reason, those people that are using this as part of gaining are now losing out of a system, and they are the Americans. And I want to tell you that recently he signed another bond agreement, swap of Naira to yen with China. There is nothing like in business in Nigeria is going to deal with China. There will be no talking of dollars. So now again, the dollars are crashing very fast. And the just last one that I can mention to you, there was rumors that there was coup plot, and this coup plotting have failed. And if you go far, finding out, you will hear that the sources was coming from the international countries. And who will I tell you this answer? The last Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, General Christopher Musa, was saying that these terrorists, mostly when they apprehended, they found them with foreign currencies. Where are they getting the foreign currency? And these are the reasons that our president and the federal government and Nigeria at large will going to face a reality of trade. If you are trying to save either a Christians, out of 100%, 35% in Palestine are Christian. The oldest church are in Palestine. And then tell me who's supposed to serve them. He should have saved them from the menace of Israel genocide. And he cannot do that. But the next target was who? It's Venezuela. Venezuela is one of the largest countries that are producing oil, which they were using it to benefit more than any other country. That is the U.S. And today, what is the name of the president, Marudo, have said no, nothing like that. He has cut it down, and for that reason, he is pointing a finger to against Venezuela for harboring and holding drugs globally. And today, they are saying that Christians are killed day in, day out in Nigeria. They will come to protect the Christians, which a lot of people, even the bishops, have kicked against this statement.
All right, we'll continue with your analysis. Let us give the barrister a chance to have a say. The question is still on ground. Designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern by the United States. You agree or disagree? The momentum at which this is going, where do you stand? Do you agree that beyond the surface there's something more economical or political, or is it a witch hunt by the United States? Or, you know, they're right in their findings that it is time to come in and, you know, help Nigeria solve its security situation. Your stance on the USA's threats?
The simple answer is yes and no.
Okay, yes
and no. Now, the last time,
with the
yes, the last time I was in this show, I did refer to the parable by Chinua Achebe that if you bring an ant-infested firewood to your house, you cannot complain when lizards start to come and feast. Now, the insecurity in Nigeria, it's holistic. There's a bloody mix of killings in this country. Nigerians are being killed on a daily basis. Nobody can deny that. Whether being Christians, Muslims, or pagans, there's no denying that. I think we should move from the try to put a label of who is being killed. The question is, why are we still being killed in this country? And that's why I say a yes and a no. The American government, I don't think they have our interest at heart, generally speaking. And so the threat by Trump, for me, seemed to be hasting. It doesn't recognize the sovereignty of Nigeria, the idea of diplomacy and dialogue with the Nigerian government, which it should have done. However, we have ourselves to blame. This insecurity in Nigeria has, especially in this recent spate of insecurity, has been going on since last time, 2009 or thereabouts. Boko Haram, the multiplied terrorism, farmers' headers crash, kidnapping. Right now, nobody can travel along any of the highway without being fear of being kidnapped, and nothing is happening. The government doesn't. The government have the wherewithal to deal with this. They are not dealing with it. We have now waited for the United States to draw a red line. So for me, it's welcome. Now the discussions are going on. Government know that we need to act. So that is why I say it's a yes or no. No, because I think it's a bit hasty. It disrespects Nigerian sovereignty, and yes, because it's making our government to start issuing statements, at least for now, that they are going to solve insecurity. Thank you very much. Okay,
it's interesting because information getting to us, most of the information that shall be relayed out here is based on research, and I want to carry our viewers along, or that particular viewer who is watching and seriously interested. Now, it says that wary of the continued warning by the United States to undertake a swift bombardment of terrorist enclaves in the country, it has been reported that some foreign headers have been leaving Nigerian territorial boundaries with their head of cattle. That is the information that from a very authentic source, that these headers, in quote, some terrorists are actually leaving in droves. They are crossing the borders. You already know that our neighbors have shut their borders since the threat from the United States. The question I am asking now is, did we need the United States for us to have such an action? If this was possible, if it's possible for you to run terrorists out of Nigeria, how come it had to come at this time? If you say that you do not agree on Trump's designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, why now that the United States have issued the threats do we have a situation report that headers are moving out of Nigeria just when the threat came in. I mean, it's a paradox if you ask me. If you say you are against or you are for, we need to draw the lines. Again, I'm asking you, Hassan, why it has to come to this for terrorists to begin to move the movement of headers, criminals, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. Even though we also have a report that despite the peace deal, bandits killed two Katsina community leaders. We had security reports that there were recent attacks in Benue State. Also, a church was burnt, also attacked, despite the United States threat. So, Hassan, I really want your take on this unfolding situation.
You see, earlier I told you that the federal government or the leadership of Nigeria almost fell over 40 years again. It started falling. And for that reason, the citizens have lost a lot of faith to their leadership, to the leaders of Nigeria. And now that you are saying this is presently what happened. It happens in Kebbi State. I was with some people yesterday from Kebbi State when they were called that these people are running, going out of the country. But a good part of it, the security from Niger Republic are killing them and missing them. They were sending the pictures. I was when I was with them that yesterday around after 9 in the night. What am I trying to say is this: most of these things that are happening, people, you can't say that there is no Nigerians. There are Nigerians. Nobody will deceive you that there are no internal involvement. But what am I trying to say here is that the conspiracy is beyond what we are talking about. The conspiracy involves those who doesn't have Nigeria at heart. You see, we are not patriotic enough. Patriotic enough in the sense that we don't have any other Nigeria than this Nigeria that we have. So we're supposed to come together and salvage all these things. And our people that are maintaining and controlling the security apparatus, I feel that they are not doing much enough. For you to know this, the last coup d'etat that they are talking about, attempt that happened, they were even accusing some officers in the office of the National Security Advisor are involved. And if this is these things is happening, it's a total, what do we call it, loss of faith. And it happens only because things like this are going on in Nigeria. But at least the statement from the United States have called us to put our hands on decks so that we will fight this thing immensely. If hadn't been, they have not said so, maybe this thing that we are seeing now, it will not happen. And for me, I come from the north, and I come from the most blamed tribe. That is a Fulani tribe, for that matter. And for once, I have never supported what was happening. I have a history that nobody, if you are not from that side, you cannot, you won't know the history. Ordinarily, if you are talking, somebody in Lagos or Enugu or Calabar will tell you that General Burate is a Hausa man. How can he be a Hausa man? He has a language. And the state he came from, they see him as a minority at the same time. When you talk about the late chief of staff to the president, late former president, Abakari, you will the Southerner that have not traveled far will tell you he is a Hausa man. He is not a Hausa man. He is a Kanuri by tribe. And for you, your information, the same Kanuri, when you are talking to him about Hausa man, you may hear what, and when you are talking with the Hausa man, you will hear the statement about from other side. So where we get it wrong is that we have, as the barrister just mentioned, that we need to move ahead or more than talking about whether this is a Christian, this is a Muslim, this is a Northerner, this is. If you will carry all the family of President Tinubu and put them in the cabinet of a federal government, and if the problem of Nigeria will going to be resolved, our economy will going to be straightened, everybody will get his education, you will drink pure and what do we call it, water that have met a world global standard. You will go to hospital that have medical materials and whatever. You will be attended in any types of security problem. If you go to police, they will not tell you police are friends, no bail, and you find out a different thing. I am assuring you, we will going to get better society. Nigerians always showcase a best security personnel when you are talking about peacekeeping in the foreign countries. I could remember during Yugoslavian days, the best security personnel was a policeman from Nigeria. Why not showing it here in Nigeria? But the most important things, we still challenge the federal government. We are not happy with what the United States are saying, but they have maybe awakened the federal government from the challenges that they are facing. Let them do it sincerely, honorably. I have seen the chief of air staff day before yesterday addressing the theater commanders. Hit them, kill them. This is what we have been expecting since before now.
All right, so let's give Barrister. I want to hear what Barrister has to say. The information is out that terrorists are actually living in droves. They're moving through. Moving out, headers are actually running out of Nigeria, especially in the northern part of the nation. The question I asked that he has responded to, why wait until the U.S. threat? Number one. Number two, if it's possible to run terrorists out of Nigeria, how come it is happening right now?
I don't think we should be happy that terrorists are running out of Nigeria. They should be decimated, because if they run out, they'll come back. Now, yeah, if they run out, they'll come back. We have stories, I don't know verified proof that, at certain time, there's a migration to the country, maybe for election, or to claim a farmer settlement. These things should not be happening. As Nigerians, we should be ashamed. Nigeria is not in a full-scale war, but we have the lowest life expectancy in the world. If a Nigerian lives beyond 55 years old, he's said to have exceeded the average life expectancy. Why would that be? Because we are not addressing the security concerns. Now, I'm happy with President Bola Tinubu's statement that is going to end terrorism using a multi-sectoral approach, using the economy and the military. And that's what we should be doing. The cost of Nigerian security is just beyond military fighting. For example, injustice is rooted in our country. For the Boko Haram, for example, if the story is true, the extrajudicial killing of one of the founders escalated this thing by the police. So injustice in Nigeria should be tackled. That is one of the root cause of this thing. For the terrorists living Nigeria in droves, we hope these reports are true, but Nigerian military, Nigerian law enforcement should get them eradicated.
If you just joined us, it is the press as we take a look at U.S. threat. Tinubu vows to defeat terrorism. Analysis of the front pages of our papers. We'll take a short break. When we return, please keep the phone calls coming in. We'll be right back. Yes, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. The phone lines are open right about now. Please display the phone lines so my viewers can call in and be part of the conversation as we take a look at the U.S. threat, as we focus on the promise, the vow by our president to defeat terrorism. And that's exactly where we are going to right now. And I want to start with the barrister. Tinubu says he's going to defeat terrorism. He has vowed to defeat terrorism. My question is, why now? What happened before the U.S. threat? What will happen after the U.S. threat? Hassan has talked about Nigerians not having faith in leadership. It actually took us back to 50 years. Again, the promise has been made. but we're looking at action beyond words. Action beyond words. That is what Nigerians and the entire world is looking at. Now, the president has promised that he will defeat terrorism, of course, based on his reaction on the U.S. threat of actually coming in. Do not forget that there is an outline plan by the United States, and let me read it out again. Military officials say that the proposals labeled are heavy, medium, and light. This is no joke. They are telling us the plan, and for the U.S. to have said it, they don't mince words at all. So I'm asking Barrister.
Why not?
The president has said he's going to defeat terrorism. I'm asking what has happened since before now, and should we hold him to his words? What are the plans to defeat? The United States has given us a draft. What draft is the president of president of Nigeria giving Nigerians for us to actually believe that he has the capability, the willpower, the political will to actually defeat terrorism in Nigeria?
So I'm going to give the president the benefit of the doubt. People, they're saying that the best time to start something was yesterday. The next best time is now. So why now is the president. So he has made that commitment. I want to take him for his voice. The United States, I don't think anywhere, meaning Nigerian, should support an invasion of Nigeria by any foreign body. I don't think that's the right approach. But I actually say, and I've said before, that the statement is welcome from Donald Trump, or the idea that they're going to attack is welcome because it has made our government to say, look, we need to do something. And I hope they put their promise to action, the president and his team, by ruling out not just words, because these are the rhetorics of a statement, are the rhetorics that any Nigerian or any leader can give. If those things are not put into actions, if we don't start seeing results, if we don't start seeing terrorists being killed, if we don't start seeing a Nigerian kidnapped and we don't expect the family to go and pay ransom. In Nigeria, deaths for a long time now, deaths or killings are like numbers. Oh, 100 persons killed in Kaduna. Somebody was born in Sokoto. Other person, if a mother was killed in Anambra State. This kind, it just figures for us. It doesn't seek home, but these are cries of people. These are people's mothers and children and family members. And if any crime is not resolved, it gives the perpetrator or other perpetrator the impetus to commit more, because they are not brought to justice. Nothing will happen. Those who have committed crime against Nigerians must be brought to justice. And that's, once we start saying that, the faith in Nigerian government will be restored.
Hassan, I want your take. Why now? Why this reaction from the president vowing to defeat terrorism? Why not before rather than now that we have the threat of the United States coming in to clean up and do the job that we as Nigerians expect our federal government to do for us? Should we hold, the president said is going to, stay aside and just watch what the president will do with his words, if it will go beyond mere words to action. But the question still remains, why now this promise coming? What are the indicators? Because the United States have told us what they plan to do. It's on paper. What are the indicators that Nigerians can hold on to this vow or this promise by the president to actually defeat terrorism? Before you answer, please, the phone lines are on your screen. Call in and be part of the conversation. Please, Hassan.
Why now? Because we are called to attention. Attention from the United States of America. And mind you very well, it was our voices that they were hearing all this while. It is me, you, and Barisa, and maybe others that were talking. But now a privilege, a favored one, the person with mightiness have spoken, and they have to stand at attention to do the needful. That is why it is now. But I am trying to say something. The government has inherited insecurity in Nigeria, and you cannot deny that one. Secondly, one of the most important things to see is this. The insecurity in Nigeria is going on diversification. What am I trying to say? When it started at Borno, during the late Umaru Yar'Adua, he gave a marching order. I could remember he was traveling to Brazil that time, that everybody that had been seen doing what was happening then should be shoot aside, and he took off that day. I could remember. And later in the day, it continues toward the elections of 2015. A lot has been done by the former President Jonathan, where he brought machineries from foreign countries to do that, and within 6 weeks, I could remember, they cut the Boko Haram to size. And when the late president came, he cut also Boko Haram to size. But when that thing was going, something came up called banditry in the Northwest, with the Fulanis or the headers, I can say, with whatever you can think of, whatever it looked like. This is it. Then again, something came up in the Southeast, the IPOP and whatever, even stopping people from going to the market each and every Monday of a week. And I want to tell you, he inherited all this thing. Something had even started in the even Southwest, Iboko and whatever. That it was locally, you know, they are very advanced in their thinking than any side of the country. They had a metakum and they copied. When some started to do the same thing in the north, the governors were not supporting it. I could remember some were arrested in Kaduna State and others, that why such a thing was going to happen. But what am I trying to say here is that we must support Mr. President in attacking or tackling this insecurity through his word. He is our president, and we don't have any country, as I said earlier, than Nigeria. The problem of Nigeria, one of it is unpatriotic. We must be very patriotic.
No, talking about the words of the president, again, I'm going to quote the president. It says, Tinubu, quoting Tinubu, the task ahead is to move forward with clarity of purpose, guided by the renewed hope agenda to build a prosperous Nigeria. Now, talking about clarity of purpose, I think I've asked the question before, the indicator, what will Nigerians see to stand on the words of the president to defeat terrorism? He's talked about clarity of purpose. Do you think the purpose is clear?
There's no
so
roadmap.
far? Was the roadmap towards defeating terrorism, even in the midst of the threats by the United States? Barrister.
As a lay person, I can't see any roadmap. The strategies are not clear. But that doesn't mean at this stage, for me, I'm still very optimistic that the president is going to do well. The roadmap may not be before us, because maybe it's...
Shouldn't we have the roadmap? Shouldn't we have? Because the Americans are giving up, they're laying it down what they're coming to do. Light, medium, tough. They're laying it, we're seeing it. What should be the roadmap? Don't you
we
think
are very we always have a reactionary government who reacts to things. That's what we have been having all the while, and it's not changing so soon. But, and even though of course, we must evolve from that system and give clear-cut roadmap. But we don't have it for now. And we can't manufacture it here. We can't manufacture it. We're not the security apparatus. We're not the chief of staff. But we can give them what we feel should be the roadmap. Immediately, identify crimes. We should start having... I think for one thing that the Nigerian law enforcement have the resources to bring a lot of these criminals to book. It's just a lot of interests are coming in, tribal interest, religious interest, sectional interest, and all that, economic interest. Because some people believe that if terrorism ends, the budget funding to certain arm of government will cease. So there may also be those interests. I want to give President Tinubu a measure of optimism that he's going to do the right thing. And he just made this statement yesterday. I'll see how it evolves from there. I think his team should be working up or drafting a roadmap in reaction to what the Americans are doing.
Now, talking about the roadmap, and of course, one hinged on the renewed hope agenda. Every time you hear the renewed hope agenda as Nigerians, sometimes for me it's conflicting. I find it difficult. I'm just like someone visiting a stranger's house and not even knowing where the door is, how to access, navigate into the apartment. But I really want to get into the house, but I really do not know anyone there. For Nigerians, renewed hope agenda, you're a Nigerian. I would want you, with all that is unfolding How do you fit in? How do Nigerians fit in this hope that this administration keeps selling? You know, I really want your take, your understanding of the renewed hope agenda in the face of all that we face as Nigerians. Do you feel the renewed hope? Do you feel the hope as a Nigerian? Do you see the possibility of a change? I would really want to get into your mind on this.
Anire, I want to tell you I'm a Nigerian. And we agree that this government, when it comes with the, what do we call it, a name of renew agenda. And we believe and hope to see that renew hope. And by now, there are a lot of things that, whether you like it or not, there is that hope. One, a removal of subsidy remain very valid and understandable. I don't enjoy the difficulties that people are going through, including myself. Even the Mr. President knew that, and he is aware of that. But I'm just telling you that even the global conspiracy was very, very involved during this subsidy of a thing. I could remember the former governor of Bauchi and former Minister of Transportation and Aviation, Malam Isaiguda, once said that during the government of Jonathan then, he was the chairperson of subsidy removal, if you could remember. He said one of his friends met him and said, hey, Mr. Governor, please ask Mr. President to remove this subsidy. The money that we are getting there is too much for us. What are we going to do with the money? I'm just telling you this. And we can see it when he removed this subsidy from that day to now. If you are from Benue State, maybe before they were collecting 4 billion or 10 billion per month as a federal allocation. Today they are collecting 40 or 30 billion naira. And what we need to do is that to ask our money from our governors, where are those money for transparency? What are they doing to contribute in attacking this security? Yes, and when we agree to this, you go to Katana, you go to some state in the west, and some even in the north central, and I don't know some of these states. They have manned some security apparatus through the state government, and in some places it is helping a lot. All we need is this justification of how our money has been spent. So if you are talking about Renew Hope, we need to ask our governors to contribute immensely in putting confidence more on this Renew Hope. If you go ahead again, you find the depth of federal government in both internationally and national. You find out that the president, this government has paid a lot of debts that we are now not talking about, which were a threat to the government, to a nation like Nigeria. But today, we know where we are focusing to. Then secondly, a child of nobody, can able to attend university now by that telephone. That is the student loan that introduced by this government. And let me tell you, honestly, what we are witnessing, just recently I was coming back from Johnny. I saw a lot of heavy trucks and machineries, military machineries that are going to the north through Kaduna and whatever. I met them on the way. And that shows that something is happening in real. Because when you are talking, you just not talk by if you are dreaming. No, when you see, you account. That is the truth. And so the Renew Hope is real.
I just want to add that.
Yes, we're rounding up, so please add what you want to say.
I want to say on paper, the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President and the subsidy ruler are beautiful plans. In reality,
but in reality,
Nigeria is hopeless. There's no hope. Things we are not seeing the results. The average Nigerian does not see the results of this laudable program. And we have had 2 years into this government, and then there's still not.
We have less than 2 years now.
We have less than 2 years. There's still a lot to be done, and too many promises, very little kept.
We don't have time. I'm going to share the time between the two of you. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, a message to the United States on behalf of Nigeria amidst this threats coming. So you have, I'll give you a minute, because you know we still need to talk to our people in our dialect. So let me give you 1 minute, 60 seconds. If you have to talk, send a message to the United States on the threats to Nigeria right now, what would you say?
Personally, I appreciate the concern of the international community towards the insecurity going on in Nigeria. and their voice is a big, huge boost to those who are fighting against insecurity. However, I don't think the United States government or any other government should invade Nigeria at this time.
Hassan? My opinion will be like any other Nigerian, that it is very uncalled for a country like United States, which we have seen in the past, wage war against Iraq for invading Kuwait, sometimes 1990s, which was against the Geneva Treaty. And I think we are not far from the same other Kuwait that was protected by United States through the invasion of Iraq then. So I think our sovereignty must be respected by the United States of America, and for our leaders, they should come up, especially Mr. President. He should call the former president. They are very important at this moment to discuss this issue with them with emergency. And then we have to stand firm internationally, because we have seen what other countries are talking about us by supporting our will of being a sovereign country against the United States that want to invade Nigeria.
So, 60 seconds message to the President of Nigeria on this threat. Yes.
Well, the President, the buck stops on your table. So any problem going on in Nigeria, we're going to blame you. Your name, you have the opportunity to edge your name on gold in the heart of every Nigerian by curbing this insecurity. Because insecurity in Nigeria goes just beyond the life that have been lost. It truncates into the economic life. No farmer is going to the market. You need to step up and do your job.
Hassan.
Mr. President should know that very vividly that leadership can be a court and be successful when there are justice and fairness. And for that reason, I am happy he is one of the only ever in Nigeria who happened to be a president as a Muslim, and his wife a Christian, not only a Christian, but a pastor for that matter. I think he is just like a bridge in between any type of thing called religion conflicts in Nigeria. So he should do more in order to prove himself innocent and a leader that leads from the front.
Okay, so a message to your people in your dialect.
Hassan, all the countrymen, you know, other my mic, Mututu.
Ya ku 'yan Najeriya, wannan lokaci ne da za mu tsaya a kawahuwanmu domin ganin cewar mun mara ma shugaban kasa baya wajen kare mutuncin Najeriya da 'yan Najeriya, musamman a harkar nan na yin barazana kaiwa Najeriya hari daga kasar Amurka, wanda yin haka ya sabawa dokar Geneva ta 1960 na samun 'yancin kai a duk duniya. Wannan shine sakonmu.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate my guests this morning for coming on the show. I want to appreciate your passion as Nigerians, and although we didn't have any call this morning, remember that the show continues next week, Monday to Friday, right here on KAFTAN Television. My message is, this is Nigeria, where we call our home. We have no other place but here. A great nation, greatest people reside here. The most intelligent people reside here. Greatest humans reside here. This is the greatest nation on the surface of the earth. Human resources, mineral resources, name it. We have everything to attain to greatness. And I tell you, it lies in our hands. This is Nigeria, my home country. I love being a Nigerian. Like I say, I carry Nigeria inside and outside everywhere I go, and I want you to do the same, because nobody will do it for us. My name is Anire Binitie. Thanks for watching the show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.